Hi, moving a tad further ahead with emotional intelligence. I'm Siddharth Sathe and you're watching Phoenix Dreams. In the last video up here, we had defined emotional intelligence and we'd spoken about it in terms of the 4 quadrants of self-awareness, self-management, social awareness and relationship management. You see, to understand how it really works, it is very important to understand where it works, whatever it is. And in the case of emotional intelligence, where it really works is in our brains. So what we'll do today is today and in the next few videos is try and understand the physiological aspects of your brain to understand really how it works. So it's going to be a bit of a biology lesson, but it's quite interesting, believe me. So we'll break down the brain physiologically to understand what are the various parts of the brain and what exactly do they do and how have they evolved over a period of time in human history to come to where they are today, the brains, and how do they exactly function, right? So that's what we'll do. We'll talk about today the evolution of the human brain. So if you have a look at the brain, if you dissect it and really have a structural view of the brain, it has 3 layers, it has 3 parts. And these 3 layers have grown as the human being evolved over a period of time. So there are 3 aspects or 3 parts of the human brain. The first is the reptilian brain. The second is the mammalian brain. And the third is the thinking brain or the cognitive brain. So the reason they're given these names is because they evolved, like I said, they evolved with the evolution of the human being. So the first aspect of the human brain, which is the reptilian brain, is really that part of the brain which is responsible for survival, the basic instinct of survival, which means it doesn't do any thinking, it doesn't really reflect, think and then command the body to take any action. It basically takes care of those voluntary functions which are required for basic survival. So things such as circulation of the heart, breathing, maintaining balance, walking, reflex actions, all of these are controlled by your reptilian brain. Because if that doesn't work, it's a complete shutdown of your body. If your heart stops beating, if your lungs do not do the respiration aspect of life, you're not going to survive. So the very, very basic involuntary functions of the body are done in the reptilian brain. The second part of your brain is the mammalian brain, which is the emotional center of your brain, where all your values, beliefs, attitudes, all of these things that we've spoken about, and is the emotional center of your brain. Here is where is your reaction to things that happens, and this is also very frankly required for situational survival. We'd spoken about the flight, fight and freeze response in an earlier video, and this is the part of the brain which really takes care of that, because again it is in the second phase of evolution when the human being had to move from being hunters and gatherers to maybe to move to a more steady form of life. But during this transition period, the human being was still in the wild, so he did face a lot of dangers around. So the emotional aspects of fight, flight or freeze, and then later moving on to having emotions in a relationship developed at that period of time. That is when man became a social animal. So emotions started developing in that phase of the evolution of the human being. So the second part, which is the mammalian brain, which is the emotional brain, where our emotions reside. And the one which developed in the last phase of the human evolution and is still developing as we speak is the thinking brain, which is the topmost layer of our brain, which is the cognitive brain, where the actual thinking and analysis takes place, where you actually don't react emotionally. You take in information that you receive, you process it, you analyze it, and then make a decision, make a choice based on this analysis and command or direct the rest of the body to take a specific action or behavior. Right? So we'll go deeper into it to understand what are the sub-organs in each of these 3 brains, to understand how it really works and how it all ties up into emotional intelligence. There are some aspects which you must have realized are not in your control, which will happen involuntarily, whereas there are some which are in your control. And it's this knowledge that you can take advantage of, knowing what is in your control, knowing what isn't, is when you can really impact your actions and your behaviors consciously. And that's the exact purpose of doing these sessions, where we understand the physiology of the human brain, to know what is in your hands and what isn't. right? So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much for your time. Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a biology lesson, but yes, it will get very interesting as we progress further. Please stay tuned, keep watching. I promise it will be fun. Thank you very much till then for your time and your patience. Please keep watching. If you like what you see, like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.